What is going on, guys? I am aware that patch 3.6.0 thingamajig is aware, and I've seen the most is that they've been changing the daybreak stuff, and then I'll look at the other changes that they have. I was like watching like Runeterra stuff, and like all of a sudden it's like patch to patch to patch to patch, and then I saw Mega Mawai patch, there's a patch, and I'm like, oh boy, let me look at this stuff. You guys don't really, most of the stuff you see me is like do decks, so this will be my reaction to seeing some of the stuff. Now I did see some of the Sunbreak stuff, all the changes, and then we shall see the rest of them, right? So they changed her, that now Leona is a challenger, and it looks like when she, first of all, she turns into a 5 cost, which I think is gross. I don't know, I think changing the cost of the unit when they're first changing the C, like I think as a 4 drop she struggled. I think it's weird to make her a 5 drop, but I don't know, they've been making like Kane's a 5 drop, and then like I feel like there's a lot of 5 drops in the game, but I feel like making her a 5 drop just seemed really weird. But it is what it is. She no longer has Overwhelm. They made a challenger. Now when she levels up, that Daybreak, or when you activate another Daybreak, stun the strongest enemy and give me barrier this round. So the whole thing with Overwhelm was a little weird anyway. Like it's like she was kind of like a value engine with Daybreak. You don't really want to like attack with her in most cases, but if you are attacking with her, I guess it's nice to give her a barrier, but obviously barrier is counterable. And it still has, there's still a bunch of pings, right? So there's still that aspect of it. You still can just ping the barrier away, but at least she still has a lot of defense. So it's more of a crazy little value engine that stays on the field. I don't know if that's enough. I thought Overwhelm was not that bad of a touch, but I do think that she should have just got stronger with each Daybreak, which they did do with this card. The Sun Guardian. It goes from a 6 cost all the way down to a 3 cost, and it's a 2/3 instead of it being a 6/5. Now instead of it was give me +4/+4 this round, now it actually grants itself +1/+1 every time you Daybreak or when it Daybreaks itself. This card, this is gonna be really interesting because you can drop it early and then just let it get stronger and stronger, but it does not have Overwhelm like it used to, if I'm not mistaken. So I think just it being a big beat stick kind of seems a little dumb without Overwhelm. I thought maybe if you took it away from Leona, you should at least gave it to this card. But now I really don't know, how good it will be, just getting stronger and stronger. But I guess we'll see. But as you guys know, I would probably just make this with Freljord. The Tom Kench deck that I just dropped, and the one the Yi Udyr, just allowing easy ways to give Overwhelm to units is very strong. And also there is the equipment you can give this Overwhelm very easily with the improvised stuff. And the other thing that they did change was the Morning Light. This is even Leona's signature spell, so that's also important to note, is that now instead of 5 costs, it's going to be 3 costs. It's going to give +1/+1 this round, regardless of Daybreak. It used to give +2/+2, which was kind of spicy. Now, what's crazy here, they also nerfed it. I mean, it is cheaper, that activate all Daybreak effects at once, which was really nuts. But they changed it that it activates an ally's Daybreak effect. So you have to pick a specific ally, but it does not require Daybreak in general. So you don't have to use it in the beginning. So it's a nice way to trigger a Daybreak effect after the fact. I think that this does make the card significantly stronger, because then you could activate this thing's effect, or activate Leona's effect, or any of the other ones, especially I think Ravun was in here. No, okay, they didn't. I could have swore they buffed him too. But any of those effects you can just activate slow speed for 3 mana is actually pretty nuts in my personal opinion. So there is that. Then they did the Solari Stellacorn. Before it healed +3, now it gives +2, 0, not +2, but 0/+2 for the round. This card just seems booty cakes. But it could, I think if it gave +1/+2, so at least gave you some attacking power, like, why would you want to do this? It's like, what are you making, a Galio deck? Like, I don't even think it would work with Galio, because Galio, I think it has to be round. No, Galio is round end. I don't know. This card just seems stupid. I just don't think it just doesn't make sense unless it was Grant. If it was Grant, every time you do Daybreak, they could have kept it as a 5 cost. Every time you Daybreak or something, you oh god, my phone. Oh yeah, and they changed the Sunburst. The Sunburst is now 5 costs instead of 6. And that's just a good on good. All right, next up is Nocturne. Now this one I did not see. So what did they do to Nocturne? Attacking with fearsome allies will now also count towards the leveling. Oh, that is extremely good. I actually feel like Snooey had this in like one of his changes. So now you can level him up with Nightfall units into with fearsome units as well as Nightfall. That actually to me makes him completely busted, and now I actually think you can actually utilize him, because I actually find Nocturne to be better as a fearsome champion than to be a Nightfall champion. I think you can actually remove Nightfall from him in general. I don't like, I think that this will actually make a deck that I've been really thinking about, which is like having a bunch of summon units and then doing a full board swing. And I think you could run this even with like a Zir or something like that, like something that can summon units on pretty much on like burst speed, right? Like, or not like burst speed, but like a Zir when you attack with the sundial, you know what I'm saying? Like they instantaneously just go. I don't, unless I remember that Nocturne, it's either summon or play. If it's summon, then it's busted. Then you can actually burst speed summon stuff. You can maybe even do Nocturne Nora, and then like do something like that, which would be kind of crazy. I definitely think this is going to be pretty interesting to see. Obviously, you could just run like the Mistfall stuff, and then you could do a deck like that, or Spiders. So we'll see. It's definitely going to make me want to do a Nocturne deck, so that should be interesting. Next up is going to be Valma, which is that other, the thing that comes out alongside Fearsome New Look. I'm not reading. Why am I reading these? Screw that. So yeah, this is pretty cool. So other fearsome allies have +1 attack. Yeah, whatever. Oh, they're changing this thing. So attacking with Nightfall allies will now also progress this landmark. Once I've seen 3 fearsome or Nightfall allies attack, destroy me to summon Valma. That wasn't the problem with this landmark. The problem was that it should summon a Valma attacking, because you attack with all those things, and then yes, you get the 6/6, but then it's kind of But I see why. Yeah. So now when this thing gets summoned, it gives +1 to the other fearsomes, but it doesn't give it to the Nightfall thing. I don't know. It's just sloppy. It should be summoning this thing attacking. That's what it should do. They buffed my boy Kench. I just dropped a video on this guy. And I think this was one of the things that I said that I thought would be good, is that when you actually summon him, it's the same thing that Victor had. Victor, you'd summon him as a 4-cost, and then you summon him, and then like literally nothing happens. And it's like, hey, Victor. So then they made it that it costs, he summons it when he drops out, and then they also made it 0 mana. I still think that they need to have more fun with the acquired taste, but after the video you guys just saw, I don't know. You might think it's a little bit busted, but all it does is allow you to, if Tahm Kench is in the deck and you have 2 mana up and like a 6 mana play, like they just have to respect it a little bit more, They definitely have to respect it a lot. And I do say like finding Tahm Kench late in the game could leave you with an awful taste in your mouth, since he wouldn't come to the table hungry. We're hoping, well, I said I wasn't gonna read this, but it still is an issue though, because the problem with Tahm Kench summoning him later, right, is that like, in what games are you summoning him later that he can actually eat something that has more than 6 attack? Sorry, less than 6 attack. It's usually a big bad board. So I don't know. I feel like that change is not really going to help him all too much. He's just a character that you do need to get early. I think it is what it is. I think just making his acquired taste more flexible would have been better. I still think that it should have been burst speed, like a burst speed like Bayou Brunch, and then like acquired taste can still be slow speed. But I think that should have been something, and then you actually like, it's like a Tellstone kind of card. That's sort of a card he should generate. So it's something he can either get the ally thing, or he can do that, so he can choose instead of always having to eat an enemy each time. I think it's just annoying. I think he should be able to choose either or, so he can keep himself healed. You wouldn't even need to run regeneration. You can run like a minion spawning deck that he can just keep acquiring and tasting his own allies to keep his stats up. But hey, what do I know? I don't make this game. Anyway, Master Yi coming up in the building. The spell reduction cost will now persist through turn end. I don't really know what that means. Reduce the cost of a spell in your hand by 1. And oh yeah, like it, or are they trying to say like it stays reduced by 1 forever? Is that what that means? I actually have to read this because I don't know what that means. He has had some trouble getting into the flow since coming to Runeterra. No, he hasn't. The hell? But we think that letting his wisdom persist between turns may take him to a higher plane of win rate. The Wuju swordsman play pattern can be a bit oppressive, so we're taking a cautious approach to buffing him without letting him cut apart the meta. The thing is that that's what it says through turn end. I'm assuming that, yeah, through turn end means that cost remains reduced the entire time. It used to, when you ended your turn, once everything ends, that it goes back to normal. So what this could mean, honestly, which they do have to be careful, is like, if you have one spell, let's say you have Glorious Evolution, right? You can have it that I'm assuming that it can keep tickling it down, or it can only hit that one spell. This is something that has to be tested. If you can actually take Yi and keep trickling down a big spell, then he can be also using Freljord for like big spell decks and stuff like that. He can also be using like crazy ramp decks as well, like because you won't really know what spell he's lowering the cost of. Let's take, for example, if you run Master Yi and Ez and you run like a Tri-Beam Improbulator, and like obviously it kind of messes up if it hits the 3 cost thing, but you know, maybe makes the Tribulator really low cost, and then you play all your 3 costs before it can get reduced by Yi. This is where that's just something I thought in my head, and I'm like, well, what if the 3 goes down to fucking 2, you idiot? But it is something to think about. Also, it could be insane a Yi Nami deck, like maybe you can turn a spell into very cheaper, turn it cheaper, and then make her combo chains a little bit crazier. Or same thing with Lee Sin. This is gonna make Yi dramatically better, if not, I think, insanely top tier. I think that you have to really watch out when Yi's on the board, and you're also gonna want to kill him. Before, you didn't really care. It was just if you can stop him from attacking, stop him from leveling. But I think you're gonna also want to kill him now, because him reducing spells, if they can be even reduced, especially if you have one spell in your hand, that could be kind of nuts, depending on what spell it is. And I think for my Master Yi, Master Yi Victor, let's say the Splittering Song Spinner or whatever like that, it's all of a sudden 7, 6, 5, and then 4, and then you have a 4-cost card that creates 3. Yeah, that could be nuts. I'm just saying. What the absolute fuck is this? Fiora's a 4. Fiora is Jin. What the fuck? Why? A 3-cost 3/2 going into a 4-cost 4/4. Now she's gonna be a 4-cost 5/5. I don't know if that was as necessary. Like I think people that played Fiora were able to still do the Fiora thing. So I don't think it was necessary to like really buffer to that thing. I think that she needed actually, I don't know what she needed, but making and also bringing her down to 4. I actually like, you know what? I think I like the buff actually. I just don't like that she's like Jin statted. It just seems a little bit weird, but it does allow her to trade without having barriers and stuff like that. But that could prove to be worse, you know? But we'll see. Let's see if there's more Fiora decks that come out of that. I doubt it though. Swain is getting a attack buff, making him a 4/6. I don't know why you would do that. Actually closing out the game once he's leveled. Why? Because then he's a 5/7. And you're giving him Overwhelm. What the hell? That's so weird. But the thing about Overwhelm, and I've said this in a couple videos, giving Overwhelm to something that has Nexus Strike actually does count towards that. So he actually can close out games and that's why they boosted his attack. This actually makes a lot of sense. So if you have a little weak little guy and he pierces through, he's going to then hit them and then deal 3 damage to all enemies as well. So this allows you to attack with Swain on the left side. And it says all enemies, right? So it has nothing to do with the thing stuck in the back, right? But I think before it used to be stun the enemies. Oh no, that's just the stun, right? Yeah, so this makes Swain's absolutely balls deep insane, and you will 120,000% see more Swain decks because of this. Just because the fact that he can Nexus Strike, and if you have less than 5, he's gonna Nexus Strike and nail 3 to all things. Especially if you have some other Overwhelm stuff in this deck. Yeah, Swain's that's a big buff. I think that's a meta-changing buff right there. Some of this other stuff so far has been cool. Yi has to be tested. Nocturne has to be tested. Nocturne could be crazy, and Leona I don't think is gonna get any too crazy. But I actually think what we just saw with Swain, I think that makes him busted. I think that this makes him. You're gonna see a lot of Swain decks, 100,000%. Alawi, wait, are they just nerfing the deck? No, sorry, buffing the deck I just made? What the hell? Want to release some Stranglehold. So they gave her more health. Same thing, so she gets more health. Nothing really crazy there. Ornn, level up, and ally has strike 10, and ally has struck for 8 damage. So they are buffing Ornn. I don't think that necessarily needed to be done. I think if anything, you would just lower Ornn's cost. I think you should make him a 6-drop, which would make him busted as hell, but I think that's the only thing that you really need to do. Nerfs Viego. They made Viego a 6-drop. I can see that that's a really rough nerf. I can see how that really affects him because it takes him longer, and it also makes it harder to to start him over again. But obviously it's because with the encroaching miss, he can kind of just keep getting himself stronger and stronger and stronger. So even like he's most of the time he's not dropping as a, what was it, 5 cost 5/4. He's dropping bigger than that. They are increasing his stats to make up for that, so I guess that's pretty cool too. And they didn't change anything about that. Hate Spike going back to 2. Yeah, Hate Spike being 1 mana was kind of nuts. We don't need to read this. It was nuts and it needed to be changed. Same thing with Mark of the Storm, 3 damage going down to 2 again. But see, the thing is that what they did with these 2 changes here, they were experimenting, and they needed to have flexibility to do that without people being like super like fucked up, like oh blah, 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 blah. Like let them bring out something. But this is also what they need to do is change it quickly. Let the changes come out, see how it feels, and then if it feels too strong or too bad or whatever like that, change it immediately and don't wait like months to do it. The Hate Spike was kind of nuts, like having 1 mana up and you're facing Shadow Owls and you were like, oh shit, I oops, like it just felt like so bad to like lose something or to have it 2 damage and have an easy trade and stuff like that. And you guys saw, I think it was one video, I hate spike your hate spiked into my hate spike, like it's insane. The Mark of the Storms, I feel like there wasn't maybe I was missing something with like Ken Index. I think it going to 3 damage in general was kind of strong, but like I guess maybe just bringing it back down to 2 before it gets out of control. I guess that's the thing. Sanin is turning into a 3/3 just to make it like less desirable, I guess. But no one, I feel like its stats don't matter. I think if you wanted to nerf this card, you would just make it a 7-drop. Keep it stats and make it a 7-drops, and less follow-up plays would be able to be made with it. But let's see what it being a 3/3 when it already summoned 2 and gave all allies, because when it gives all allies it becomes a 4/4 in general, right? So yeah, whatever. Riptide Sermon, deal 4 to a unit, deal 2 to the Nexus, deal 3 to a unit, spawn 3, 1 to the Nexus. This is I feel like Snooey also said this change as well, making it a little bit different. Decimate going to 6. That's okay, it's a decent change. Harrowing going to 10 costs, that's okay too. I think that's pretty fine. Gwen, I'm just thinking like that Gwen Infinite, I wonder if they're going to be changing the Gwen Infinite in any way or form. What? Rider Calling going to 1 cost? Why? Free Calling can be frustrating experience to play against, letting decks access their champions consisting with limited drawbacks. Wait, but they can kill the unit. I feel like I don't know. I don't think that's necessary. It's not that bad of a change, but I feel like the decks weren't that crazy. But Shurima is known to be one of the stronger regions, so I guess I can't say much. They needed to nick something, but I don't think it was Rider Calling that needed to be changed. Targon's Peak going up 1 cost. I think this should be like Yi's ability. Maybe just slowly lower something down to, or maybe it reduces the cost of it by 2 instead of just making it 0, which makes that deck just silly. But then it just nerfs the fun of the card. I don't know, but I hate this card. It just makes things stupid. Concurrent Timelines going to 2 costs. I think I just hate the card. I abolish it. Just remove it from the game, make it a legacy card. I just hate it because of the specific of it. Just adds too much random shit to it. I wish that it was just redone entirely, but they still want to keep it in the game, so it is what it is. Variety card buffs. So this one, it's grant now. If you don't grant it to me. Oh, this is an insanely good buff. Holy God. Granting Spell Shield and Overwhelm in Targon, that's awesome. Instead of it play, you give it to them for the round, which was absolutely trash. This is a strong card. You're definitely going to see a 3/3/3 and gives a strong thing when it's played. Awesome. I did want to test this card out, but I didn't get the chance to. So what are they changing it to? When an ally, this is what, yeah, when attacks grant +1. When an ally with an attachment attacks, grant that attachment +1. This is the deck that I wanted to do, right? Because I think the attachment aspect of it or things of that nature actually counts for the equipment as well. With the arrival of the paper, she just wasn't making a cut. But see, even if with the arrival of equipment, this also means attached units, like the attached unit and equipment as well. So this actually, with this paper tree, this would actually give you the ability to put in a equipment into a deck and not have to run Forge to level it up. And this is every time they attack. So let's say if it's Scout, I think Paper Tree is definitely going to see some play, and if it won't from others, it will definitely be from me. So I can at least buff a equipment And then not only that, remember when an ally with an attachment attacks, so it has nothing to do with the unit. So I can actually run both an attached unit or an equipment, and just as I'm attacking with them, it will get stronger. And then when you replay it onto something else, that would be strong. This actually is insanely good. That paper tree thing is insanely good. Shrieking Spinner attack, grant spiders +1, give them +2 for the round. Yeah, no one cares. Renewal, oh my god. It's 4 cost now, heal 4. Heal an ally, heal the next is 4, draw 1. And yeah, instead of Joseph. That's awesome. This is fantastic. I love this change. It also takes it out of the 6 cost pool, making that pool a little bit smaller. Something that you have to keep in mind when you're looking at these changes. Like, and I just thought about it now, but yeah, like when like Reggie and stuff like that comes in, when a card goes from less than 6 costs, it does take it out of the pool, which could be more vicious. Than you have maybe either better or worse options. But I like this change. I like it that it's a little bit cheaper now to kind of get the heal to the Nexus for in Ionia. And Reaper's Bay getting changed once again. So now it's when an ally's attack before triggering lurk, grant the top ally of your deck lurk, and it becomes, oh, did you put the, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Dude, are you kidding me? So when allies attack before activating lurks, so this just makes every fucking thing lurk. Dude, that is nuts. Why is that nuts? Because you can now run this card and make a lurker deck that has, and then not like that actually, like that's insane. But from using Kai'Sa, I've copied lurk onto Kai'Sa and it didn't work that well. I feel like maybe that was a bug, like because technically maybe I have to reread lurk. Let me reread lurk now actually. Lurk reads, I know you guys can't see it. Actually, you can because I'm copying my screen. When you attack while I'm on the top of your deck, I lurk, granting lurker allies everywhere +1, max once per round. So theoretically, if I grant something else lurk, it should grant the same lurk as before. But when I did it with Kai'Sa, she didn't get the boost, and that was one of the tests that I did when Kai'Sa first came out. She didn't get the boost from all the other lurk triggers. It might have been a glitch, but this is very interesting. It allows you to grant lurk to literally anything, and it's the top ally, so it's really interesting, right? And now no longer obliterating cards off the top of your deck. It just pretty much makes anything lurk. So yes, you can still miss lurk if the top card of your deck is a spell, but if it's an ally, it's going to activate lurk. So Reaper's Bay, pretty much as long as you have a crap ton of allies and units in your deck, you'll never miss lurk. This makes lurk actually consistent and possibly more dangerous. Again, you'll start to see a lot of that. This can even be maybe ran with maybe all that Nightfall Fearsome bulk. Like that could be vicious. Ah, that's nuts, bro. That's there's a lot of cards to test, I'll tell you. Next up, the Leviathan. Leviathan was the one that dealt 3 to the Nexus, gave you the Swain. If they make this card too strong, they have to be really careful. That buff to Swain was kind of snasty. When I'm summoned, draw Swain. Round start, deal 1 to the enemy Nexus twice. So they did nerf it. They nerfed it down. But they did make it cheaper. It's no longer at 8 cost. It's a 7 cost now with slightly less defense. But it's cheaper to, yeah, I'd rather it be cheaper than anything. Double ping is fine enough for me. That's crazy, dude. Swain got a huge fucking buff, dude. Noxus is about to be everywhere. I mean, yes, they were a part of some other decks, but I think you'll see Swain now outside of everything else. Magical Journey. How long have I been recording? Almost 30 minutes. I'm so sorry. Thank you guys so much for watching this video if you've seen it. Plant a Portal. Randomly in the top 4 cards in your deck, plant a Chime. Oh yeah, it was top 4 and then plant 3 chimes. Now it's just 1 chime on the top card. So, oh no, plant 3 on random cards. Now it's 1 chime on the top. So it is much better. It's a way better 2-cost card in my opinion. This card is never going to see the light of day, though it is pretty cool, but they only get +1/+1 in impact for the round. They just made this card have more stats. That's whatever. Rock Bear is turning into a 5/5 instead of a 5/4. You're still not going to see this card ever. Funsmith is getting a little bit more attack. I guess I would have preferred more defense for a engine. Why does it need attack? What the hell is that? Mammoth Shaman is going to a 5/5. This card I like is because yeah, it turns into this, which every round it gets +2/+2. It just becomes a extremely strong overwhelm unit that just sits there. I just didn't like most people that it costs 6, so it's a little bit rough in the wins. This thing gets elusive. I don't think it had elusive before, so now it has a, you know, it's a little bit better to play. Still don't think you play it though, but it is nice. And then finally, they're dropping Corrupted Zoe, so I can make my Corrupted Zoe deck. Oh, they actually have a thing to play. Oh, wow. Dude, what? Yeah, that's nice. I actually like that you can even see it. That level up animation is insane. Hold on, I can biggie size it for you guys for my thumbnail. For what? What did you say? Wow. Looks nuts. Anyway, alternate art, unique level up animations. Oh, Garen? Oh, Garen gets a fun skin. Oh, that's funny because a lot of people are like, wait, what about the other people? Okay, let's see. That was clean. That was clean. I do think Garen needs a little bit, you know, some love too. Lovely new deer skin, Sag. Margaret Storm has competitive. The Darkened Saga domination does not contain some other stuff. Bug fixes. Maybe one of this is the things that I said. Share seas, bug. Okay, so that is going to be it. Hopefully, Evolve not counting for. I don't care. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I definitely think that there's some really cool interactions and a lot of stuff to test out in the new in this new update that's going to be coming out. I don't know when is it coming out, but let me know in the comment section what part that you were excited for. What champion do you think is going to rise to the top, if any at all? I don't know if they even say when the hell these are coming out, but it's funny that I definitely made a deck with the last 2 champions, Tom Kench and Alawi, who are about to get buffed, so that deck should be even more effective. I think that Yi and Swain are going to be very interesting to test coming out soon. Anywho, that's going to be it for me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.